In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our divine reminder and one of this in our midst. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Jock Brothers Present Let Us Make Man, a podcast of brothers that desires nothing more than to show you a positive example of what striving men of God should be, for we all are family men who love our children. We all are businessmen. We all are youth mentors. And we all work hard in our communities to make it a decent and safe place to live. When putting this podcast together, we decided to govern our actions by three rules. One was to put God first in all that we do. Two was to present content to podcasts that can make you a better you. And three, to showcase brotherhood and unity amongst men that you can be proud of. My name is Brother Kawi Muhammad. I'll be your host and moderator for tonight. I'll be that brother. I'm that brother that's very interested in humble beginnings, the root of things, inspirations, and motivations. And so I hope you enjoy those lines of questions. And I want to go and introduce the other members or other hosts of Jock Brothers. First, brother, I want to introduce you to, born and raised in Orlando, Florida. This brother is a former captain. His brother is a former Mars coordinator.
What?
this brother here is a great. Well, that's what it is. Right here is a good person to have on any team if you want to go somewhere. I'm talking about my brother, Jack.
Come on now. Give me more. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Thank you, Jock Nation, for tuning in. Thank you, Brother Kawi, for your wonderful introduction. We have a wonderful show for you today. We ask that you tune in, like, and share. And if you have any questions, please send them in. This is Abdul Wahid Muhammad. Special guest. So, all right. Thank you, Jock Nation. All right, back to you, Kawi.
Yes, sir. Next, brother, I want to introduce to us another host of the show, brother born and raised in New York City, son of one of the great legendary first officers, lieutenants of all time.
Come on, man.
This brother here is well traveled, international travel. We don't even know where he at right now. The producer of the show, my brother Ahmed. Yeah.
Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. My name is Brother Ahmed. We are the Jock Brothers. You can catch us on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube at Jock Brothers, JAKQ Brothers, Jock Brothers. You can watch some of our previous shows, and you can catch us at 7 p.m. Tuesday nights, Eastern Standard Time, on YouTube at Jock Brothers, and on Facebook at Jock Brothers. Our website is www.jockbrothers.com, www.jockbrothers.com. You can also support us financially with our Cash App. You see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. $ Jock Bros, $Jock Bros. And at that same $ Jock Bros, you can support our prison initiative, where we are trying to get the baddest, boldest Black-owned newspaper, The Final Call, to our brothers and sisters that are incarcerated. If you have any information of family members, friends, of those who you know, if you can get their information to us at jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com, jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. Send their information, the chaplain, all their information that you know, and we can probably help assist in getting more information. Just contact us so you can help us push this initiative. Thank you. Back to you, Brother Kawi.
Praise be to Allah. So let's get to work. Now this brother here, I could easily say, based on what I know of him, based on his body of work, that he is one of the great members, FOI, members of the Nation of Islam and Nation of Islam history. He goes down in history in my book as that. I'm going to read his bio for you, and I want you to hear the great accomplishment. Very humble, very quiet, faithful servant. So let me get to it. This brother has been a follower of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad since 1962, given the name Abdul Wahid Muhammad in 1984 by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He is affectionately known and referred to by those who know him well as Brother Wahid. He is popularly known as being that first one to offer his help and stand with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan upon Minister Farrakhan's decision to rebuild the Nation of Islam in 1977. Born October the 1st, 1934, in St. Louis, Missouri, as William J. McCoy, he attended the Sean High School, graduating in June of 1952. That's some static going on. He moved to the East Coast for a while, then joined the United States Army, where he served in the Korean War. Think about that. Receiving an honorable discharge in 1957, after which he settled in San Francisco. It was here where his introduction to the Nation of Islam took place at Muhammad Ma's Temple number 26, where he started processing to become an FOI. Circumstances would bring him back to the East Coast temporarily, where he completed the processing into the Nation of Islam under Minister Louis X, now known as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. With over 50 years of business and management experience, Wahid has an extensive background specializing in sales, marketing, research, public relations, promotions, training and development, entrepreneurship, corporate communications, public affairs, and travel consulting. He has assisted many community organizations, schools, and churches with his professional expertise and is an effective negotiator. These are a lot of things that I didn't know about, brother. He has been a registered member of the Nation of Islam for over 60 years. His training of the men of the Nation of Islam during the 1960s and 70s is legendary, while known as Lieutenant and First Officer William J.X. While living in San Francisco, he worked hard assisting Minister Bernard Cushmere. Anybody know him? The trailblazer, now known as Minister Jabril Muhammad, while establishing mosques and buildings as membership throughout the northern region of the American prior to 1975, under the leadership and guidance of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Later, he moved to Los Angeles, continuing as an officer, but now focused on building a well-structured public relations department with a well-trained staff, interacting with the professionals and celebrities in the area. He organized one of the largest Muhammad Appreciation Day events at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles in February 1974, attended by well-known entertainers, athletes, business people, educators, and religious heads. After the departure of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1975, Imam Wharf-Din Muhammad became the head of the Nation of Islam. During this time, Brother William J.X. was known as Wali Jafar Muhammad, maintaining his connection and friendship with Minister Farrakhan. Wali Jafar continued to interact with the entertainment community, managing a promotion and booking agency. He served as an investment consultant for Muhammad Ali Enterprises Incorporated. It was while he was helping Minister Farrakhan interview actors for the movie he planned to make on the life of Malcolm X that Minister Bernard showed up with the pages of a book for Minister Farrakhan to read. Brother Wali Jafar knew instantly that things was about to change. Though he did not know how it would change, he would tell Minister Farrakhan a few days later that whatever it was that he was going to do, he was with him. Committed to helping Minister Farrakhan from day one, Brother William J. X, as we would again be known, moved to Chicago and worked in the basement of Minister Farrakhan's home day and night, along with Minister Farrakhan and his wife, Sister Betsy Jean, known to us now as Mother Khadijah, at 9415 South Damon Street. It was there that the Final Call newspaper had its humble beginning. Others came later to assist in the rebuilding. Along with being the first one to stand with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in 1977, Abdul Wahid Muhammad was the first national secretary in the rebuilding phase of the Nation of Islam. He also served as Assistant Supreme Captain and Business Manager, and was instrumental in the foundational development, establishment, and operation of key departments with his Let's Make It Happen leadership style. In 2001, he was appointed by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as one of the 36 original commissioners for the restructuring and reorganization of the Nation of Islam. As one of our long-standing pioneers with the Nation of Islam, he currently serves as a national consultant and is also an author. Brother Wahid is known for always inspiring and encouraging others to recognize and advance his God-given gifts and talent and fulfill their aspirations. An exemplary leader, both in the foreground and behind the scenes, he has borne many titles and wore many hats over the years. However, brother is the title that sums up his character, demeanor, and relationship with others. And this he demonstrates comfortably, easily making friendships in all walks of life as he continues to work in the big fields. With no further ado, I don't know where Ahmed is at, but with a Jock Brothers round of applause. And I thank all of you for tuning in. And please continue to share the show. Jock Brothers round of applause. I want to introduce you to our brother, Wahid Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, fruit. You're muted. You're muted, sir. Let's see if we can get you unmuted.
We need to put that in the book form. That bio, we need to put that in the book, man, and sell it.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, fruit.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
How you feel, soldier?
I'm doing fine. All praises due to Allah. Well, I appreciate being on the great show with the great three soldiers for the Uncle Elijah Muhammad and Honorable Mr. Farrakhan. And I want to say to you, brother, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, Master of the Day of Acquittal. Thee do we serve, God, and thine aid we defend. I want, and we thank Allah, and we can never thank Allah enough for raising the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and leaving in our midst our divine, humble servant and Holy Spirit, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
And we thank them all. We can never thank them enough for coming to us 9,000 miles to raising the dead nation back to life.
That's right.
We pray Allah to continue to bless each and every one of us to help in this great cause of the resurrection. So that's all I got to say.
Yes, sir. But Brother Wahid, this is a long overdue flowers while you live for you, brother. I really appreciate you accepting this opportunity for us to honor you on the Jock Brothers. I know that you're famously known as the brother that first stood up to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the rebuilding of his nation. When we was talking earlier, I mean, man, I was fascinated with some of the stories you told, and I want to just get the ball rolling just a little bit before we start to bring on your guests. Okay, I know. So it kind of like happened for you like when the fall of the nation. I mean, I know you was in the nation prior to that. And you served well, but when the nation fell and the imam took over, what was your relationship at that time with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?
At that time, with the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan, my relationship started with the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan in 1962 when I left San Francisco. When I left San Francisco, after I heard the teachings and accepted the teachings, and I decided to go to St. Louis to hear the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speak, because that's where I was born. So I went to St. Louis to introduce my family to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And when I got there to hear the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, my mother told me that my brother had become a Muslim in Boston, Massachusetts. Well, my brother and I had never been close together because he was always an academic and I was a street academic. So we never were pretty close. So my mother told me he was a Muslim. I said, when I left St. Louis, I'm going to see my brother. So I went to St. Louis to see my brother. He was an assistant minister with the Louis X at that time. And so I after I got there, I was still processing. So I decided to, after I heard Mr. Farrakhan speak, because I just heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speak about 2 weeks before that. And when I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speak, the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan speak, I said, man, that's the same thing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was saying. The same thing all the Honorable Elijah Muhammad ministers teach, but he teaches it from another perspective. That's what I saw. To me, that's what he does. And the reason why I saw it from that perspective, because when I was in San Francisco, I was with the Bohemians. I don't know if he knew about the Bohemians. That was long before the Yippies and all the other group. The Bohemians were running in San Francisco, and they taught me the metaphysics. So when I heard Mr. Farrakhan speak, I said, that was metaphysics. He's teaching to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speaking from another perspective, or from another range. So that's why that's why I decided to stay in Boston and finish processing with my brother as a minister.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's right. Praise be to Allah. So I know that once so back the question earlier was after the fall of the nation, you and Minister Louis Farrakhan, according to our earlier conversation, y'all was still good friends, and then one day the minister decided to leave under the imam and his leadership, and you left with him. At that point in time, can you explain to everybody the relationship you and the minister had at that time?
Relationship with Warf D. Muhammad, or
Well, after you departed from Warf Din Muhammad, after you left.
Relationship with the Minister Farrakhan.
Oh, my relationship with the minister was at that particular time, I was just a believer, and Mr. Farrakhan was the minister. So I was just from that perspective, because my brother being an assistant, one of Mr. Farrakhan's assistant ministers, I was pretty close to him through my brother, and the brother who was the captain in Boston, his name was Captain Clarence. So I spend most of my time talking
Okay.
with Mr. Farrakhan. from time to time with when I was in processing. I learned a whole lot about Minister Farrakhan in Boston, raising the nation for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So, but that's why I established an ongoing relationship with the Honorable Minister Farrakhan as a believer, and also as for personally as a because my relationship with my brother and the minister.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And with Ward Dean, Mr. Farrakhan has always loved Ward Dean Muhammad, and I do.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't know if you know it or not. I don't know if you've seen the picture that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had in his house, and he had a picture, and he's holding the Holy Quran, and had a picture of Pastor Muhammad and Ward Dean Muhammad.
Oh, yes, sir. I think I saw that picture. Yes, sir.
And we were all at that particular time we were taught that the Honorable, I think somebody wrote something on the back door, wrote down Ward Dean Muhammad's name on the back door, because it was like he was gonna be the next one to take charge after the minister left, and Mr. Mr. Muhammad left. That's what we were taught when we first came in the nation.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
but I don't want to say too much. There's so much you could say about the relationship between the minister, Ward D. Muhammad, and the messenger. We could write a book just on that subject.
I have a question for you from the audience, Brother Wahid. Then we're gonna go ahead and move
Okay.
on with some other guests. All right.
Okay.
It says, Brother Wahid, how did he and the minister reconnect after the nation fell? How did y'all reconnect?
I reconnect with the minister.
Yes, sir.
Well, I was always in connection with the minister for my relationship when Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here, because I became a kind of a business relationship with the minister at one point. And then we came to California, he always called me because he knew me from process. So I helped make arrangement his speaking engagement with the colleges in California. And then later on, I became really his booking agent. So he had a big white firm in Boston was booking him American programming. They used to book him, but when he came after Honorable Elijah Muhammad left, he said he wanted to stop paying that white company 30% of his booking agency. So we need to since I was in the booking business, booking entertainment, he said I could book him, and I can get the percentage from that. So we can both make a living doing that. So that's what we did.
Brotherhood.
That's right.
So the relationship I had with the minister has been as a believer, follower, and as a friend.
That's right. That's right. Praise be to
and visit in a business arrangement with him. So
yes, sir.
So
yes.
Forward to that.
Well, thank you, there, Brother Whitehead. We're gonna move on with some of the guests, and I appreciate that. And it's clear that you and the minister have more than just, y'all more like family. It sounds like when I hear you
That's
talk.
Right. Yeah. We family.
Yes, sir.
So
They
that's
say behind every great man there's a great woman, and in your case, that still remains true.
absolutely.
And so, with that being said, I would like to bring on to the show your wife, and I know I'm praying I pronounce his name right. My sister, Ania Muhammad. I pray I say it right.
Yes, she is. Yeah. Can you see her?
Did he say it right?
Yes, he did. Yes, sir.
Oh, praise be
Okay.
to Allah. Yes, ma'am. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing fine. A little uncomfortable. I'm more of a behind the scenes type person, working behind the scenes. So a little uncomfortable, but I'm okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Praise be to Allah.
Anything you want to say about your husband in regards to his service? Any comments you want to make?
Well, I am truly blessed. Um, I am so thankful to Allah for bringing this man into my life.
Mm.
And we've been together now for 23 years, 23 and a half years. It's been a magnificent journey. All praises due to Allah.
Yes, ma'am.
From the time that I've known him, I guess I will start with our very first Savior's Day together, which was in 2000, February 2000. We married January of 2000. And so we were still newlyweds at that time. And with Wahid being, on the national scene, he knew lots of people, and of course he's known all around the country. Me, still at that time, very shy. But what I observed of him was that everywhere we went that Savior's Day, people would run as soon as they laid eyes on him, they would run across the room or step over to him, throw their arms around him, greet him, give him all types of accolades, and so many stories. I heard so many stories of what this brother, my husband, has done to help them further their journey, their careers, whether it was their careers in the nation or just their careers in general. And I've hearing those stories and then witnessing that over the years, he is always so willing to promote other people, guide them, steer them, counsel them to bring out their qualities.
Right.
To be a better helper to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Wahid will give his all to, especially to those who want to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And that dedication that he has, it's like when he came into the nation and accepted the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it was like him saying, "I do."
Right.
And we're in this for life.
Right.
Or I guess a military term would be when a military person stays in for 20 years or more, they call him a lifer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Wahid is. He's in for life. Total dedication.
Beautiful words. Thank you, my sister.
Yes.
Now we have another special guest for you, my brother Whitehead. I think you know this person pretty good. They have some words, some kind. You can stay on. You can stay on, sister. They have some kind words they want to say for you. And let me introduce you now. This sister name that I think you may know pretty good. Name is Sister Satana.
Sultana. That's my
Did I
daughter.
pronounce that right?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, sir. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, it's Sister Sultana Arifa.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, Dad and Naya.
Big Islam daughter.
Ania. Sorry, Ania. Just Ania. How are you?
So what was it like growing up under your father, with him serving the nation in the capacity in which he served the nation?
Fun, exciting. He was gone a lot, of course, but I didn't realize it at the time until I was older and more mature, what he was doing as far as the service. He and my mother. My mother also was part of the Nation of Islam. They met in the Nation of Islam. And so I was born in the Nation of Islam. So I was born and raised in the nation. And just watching the tireless efforts that they gave, both of them. My mother was MGT captain in San Francisco at the time when I was a baby. So they were both very instrumental in working very hard for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, even though my parents were together from that point on pretty much, but his dedication and tenacity was what sticks out for me. I think it's tenacity because as I got older and learned really what he was doing, I realized that, wow, he was really tenacious. Like he really didn't ever let anything stop him. If he had a project or had something he needed to do, his dedication. And those are the qualities that I always pray to Allah that I would embody the best qualities of both my parents, of being servers in the Nation of Islam and being servant to Allah and, working so hard to uplift the people.
That's right. That's right.
And so that's the kind of qualities that have been ingrained in me. And listening to you review his life history, it really brought my heart, just really swelled, and my eyes started to water because some of the things I hadn't heard before, and just hearing it in its linear order, I started to say, okay, now I kind of understand why I'm the way I am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Why people think a certain way about me and how they perceive me. And I say, well, those are qualities that I picked up from my father, obviously, because I'm just really blessed. I'm really blessed that I'm really blessed and so thankful to Allah that I've had parents that were conscious and aware and understood how to guide me in the family, how to guide the family on a path that I can honestly say my father raised 4 children that were not his. My mother had 4 children already when they met. And I asked him one day, I said, hey, why did, out of all the women in the nation, in San Francisco, all the women, why did you pick my mom? Like, why did you pick her? There were, like, I'm sure, other choices. And his answer was, well, now Elijah Muhammad was saying that, in the Quran, it says to marry the orphans and the widows. I met her and she covered both. So I said, I got 2 blessings. I can get 2 blessings from this one. I can get, she's a widow and her orphan children. He thought that was like, hey, I can get 2 blessings from this union. So I just thought that was really funny.
Go ahead,
it was very fun. My father was always joking. He always had jokes and just made life fun. He was always finding ways to keep us entertained and active and doing things, So I just really appreciate the fun that we had with him.
That's right.
And him being, lighthearted, but at the same time being humble and showing us by action, not
So thank
not
you,
just
man. I
the
appreciate
words.
that. Yes, ma'am.
Inshallah.
Beautiful words. Beautiful words.
Beautiful, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
I love you. I love you. I love you. And I love
I love you too, dear.
we got somebody else you may know that want to say some kind words to you, Brother Wahid. And I pray that I get her name right. And I'm talking about another daughter of your sister, Aquila Ali. Did I pronounce that right?
Assalamu alaikum. Akila Ali. That's what I was told was the proper pronunciation. I didn't get the name until I was 9 because my birth name is Aqua Poi. So I started to type that in, but I just know if you're not blood and grew up with me, my own grandmother couldn't pronounce my name. All praises be due to Allah. I am having a little difficulty hearing you and being on camera. Daddy.
Yes, dear.
I love you and thank you for being my father. Now, when I was listening to the description of all his accomplishments, I could only think of all the things that was left out, So my sister Sultana was correct, and my father taking, my mom, as a widower and everything, and how at 3 years old he embraced the children that she had, and he took on the job just like a Muslim brother should. And we talk about being an FOI and all of his responsibilities, yes, but it was so much more. I remember my dad having a shop called the Magnificent OUR right next to Castlemont High School in the 60s. And we're looking like maybe 1968. I can remember the buttons that were sold. Say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. So I am dating myself right then, right? That he was also one of the founders of the Magnificent products, hair products for afros, right? Afro Sheen, Afro Gleam. But one of the things that was really good is that those children, these other young Black brothers and sisters from the high school, at such a tumultuous time for us, that my father didn't just take in, he didn't just sell burgers and snow cones, right? He put the knowledge that was given to him in these young Black brothers. He planted seeds in these brothers, and that's the kind, and so did my mother with the women. And that's what I remember, right? I remember the laughter. I remember my dad coming home and taking care of his family. What an amazing provider, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And so for that, I will ever be forever grateful. But what I loved is when he had on his FOI suit and his fez and just, it was just strong. My daddy is an FOI, you know what I'm saying? And it was just something that how could you not be proud of that? Right. The consistency of his belief and prayers never falters.
Come on, man.
To come out of his expressions. God, I could just get emotional.
Just yes, ma'am.
You had to be there. And we were there, and for that I'm really grateful. But definitely an entrepreneur, definitely a teacher, definitely a businessman, definitely a father, definitely a provider, an FOI, and the follower, definitely a man of prayer.
Come on now.
And so these are the consistencies. I mean, he's a part of the reason why I have the hustle I have today, right? And that I don't have to work for other people, that I can create, my own future in that way.
Right.
And
Come on.
anyway, I'm just grateful, Daddy. I'm here for you. Excuse me for being in my car,
Nah, you
but
fine.
yeah.
So look, I have a request of both of you, but I ask that you make it quick for the sake of the time. If it's not a problem, I don't know where
No
your father
problem.
went. I don't know, but I know he'll get the message. I don't know where he went. So both of you, if you could just quickly sum up what I guess your feelings towards your dad versus and your appreciation of him and his service to the nation of Islam. If you could quickly do it, if that's possible.
As quick as I can say is words will not suffice.
Mm.
That he is living proof of everything that he has been as a good Muslim brother, a good FOI, right? A good Muslim. He
And you, ma'am?
exemplifies that.
Oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And you, Miss Sister Santana?
Yes, I concur. I think that's his legacy that he's left for us, is that example of being first a good human being, and then a good Muslim, and then an amazing servant for Allah, to Allah,
Thank,
for Allah, inshallah.
thank the two of you for coming on. I really appreciate it, and kind words, your energy, the love, the whole package. I really appreciate that. And I hope that we so far doing your father right on this show. I pray that.
Thank you.
We thank you so much for honoring him, the flowers, and giving him his flowers now while he's still alive.
Yes, ma'am.
And able to see and hear how much he's loved, how much he's respected, and the legacy that he's leaving for us all. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to give him this gift.
Okay, praise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Thank you for your testimony of your father. That's rich. Thank you both.
Okay, with no further ado, we're going to move on with the program, and we have a brother here that can really truly go back to the first with your father. This brother here is currently serving the Nation of Islam very well. With no further ado, I would like to introduce you to Brother Akbar Muhammad, the international representative of the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Fruit.
You on mute, sir?
I got him. Oh, no. You have to unmute it, Brother Akbar. Can you hear us, Brother Akbar? You have to unmute. Mute yourself.
You got to unmute, sir. Oh, okay. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
He got it now.
He's looking now. No,
there you
sir.
go. Oh, that's our brother Ahmed.
No, we can't hear you.
We still can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
We can
Yes,
hear you,
sir.
but we can't see you. Praise be to Allah. Yes.
We can't see you, sir.
Okay, I'll let
Can
them
you
work
see
on
me?
that.
Okay, yes, sir.
Work on that, and I'll talk. Being that my subject tonight on Wahid is only 2.5 hours, I need to get started.
Yes, sir.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the world, the Beneficent, the Merciful. O Allah, God of this most perfect call, I thank you for this day and this time and these beautiful brothers and sisters. I thank Allah for placing in our midst one, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and quite naturally with the Honorable Minister Farrakhan comes the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm honored to be on this show. I'm honored to sit here and listen to it. We had a minister named Isaiah Kareem, and he would come, Malcolm would bring him to New York because he's a hell of a teacher. And he would always light the house up. And he would close his lectures, brothers and sisters, we are making history. And that is what we are doing with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and his movement throughout the world. So I'm honored and blessed to be a part of it. I was making a documentary for Public Enemy and a group of young brothers and sisters. And I said, never let go of the good that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad poured into your life. It's what makes you. He poured it into your life, goodness.
Yes,
He
sir.
poured into your life the love of brothers and sisters, the respect for each other. And I thank Allah for giving me an opportunity to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is a great challenge, but a beautiful challenge. It's something that touches the souls of Black men and women across the country and across the world. Many of you have heard me repeat this, but I'm going to repeat it tonight. I was in the country of Libya, and small talk, where are you from, what do you do, and so forth. And I said to him, I said, I'm in the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They said, Minister Louis Farrakhan, they said, you actually know him? He said, in my village, on the island of Mauritius, he said, at night, we put on videotapes of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the people in that particular village come all around. They didn't have everybody have their cell phone and had their communication. They had one, and they would all gather around it and listen to our minister teach a lecture that would touch the souls of the people. So I'm blessed, and there's no doubt about it. And how do you pay a blessing back? By holding on and doing the good given to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and carried forth by his minister, in particular, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm listening to my brother Wahid. We work together to help the minister to rebuild the nation. And it wasn't an easy job, but it was a job that had to be done by dedicated men and women. And I watched Brother Wahid and his wife, and as the brothers say, soldier. I watched them when we didn't have anything. They would not let any excuse get in the way, but we went on to push this message and the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So that's my honor. I thank his wife. When Wahid got sick, he would try to hold it away from us because he didn't want to miss a day. But he was sick. He could go to a doctor, but he wanted to make sure that things kept moving in terms of his part of this work. So I thank him. He's been my brother and friend, my companion. We travel together. We fall out sometime, but we know that we love each other, so we fall right back in love, in the ranks. So, and I thank those who put on this program, because Wahid is like a silent giant in the nation, moving things, making things happen, never looking for any credit or somebody to say something good about it. All he wanted to do is continue the good work that Allah blessed him to do. Wahid, I pray Allah will give you more and more time. I pray Allah will bless you with the grandchildren, and that Allah will bless you for the work that you've done for all of us, for the headaches and the heartbeats, and that was skipped because we were trying to do this job.
Come on now.
That's right. That's right.
I thank Allah. I'm going to give those brothers who are making history now. When you go out to do a job, do the job. Don't make excuses why you can't do the job. Give them the reason that you can do the job. I watched Brother Wahid when he would come to New York. I was blessed to have a bookstore in New York, and the mosque program that we do. And he would come, he would study what we were doing. And another minister of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Rahman, Abdul Wahid, when he came to New York, he came to applaud the minister and to see but he came to study what the minister was doing and how he could duplicate it to make the city that he was over move forward. So we've been blessed. And those that we have been blessed with, we have to look out for them. I was with Abdul Rahman, and when he was the minister in Atlanta, and Abdul Rahman said, I didn't come to New York to criticize the minister, talk behind his back. He said, I came to New York because he's the most successful minister that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has. And
Wow.
I need to study that minister, duplicate that work, excuse me, in that city. So I thank Allah. And Wahid had to hold it together many times. The minister and I were on the road. We had maybe one security guard, maybe one sister. And while we were on the road making it happen, Wahid, the minister, and myself, he was holding the fort down, make sure that the dollars and the $10 came in, that we could buy gas for the minister's car, go with him on the road, help his family. So we were blessed. And don't take what Allah blessed you with for granted. Use it to the best of our ability. I mean, I'm so happy that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a chance to go to work to resurrect the dead. And then Allah blessed us again, blessed us with a star, a minister who could attract people, a minister who could move a program, a minister who could make things happen. And that was in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I don't want to take all night, and we've been doing these programs. I don't want to forget Sister Zuhaira out of Atlanta and her work to pay tribute to the ministers, the brothers and sisters who hold fast to the banner of Islam.
That's right.
And continue to work to help the minister to make it happen. So I thank you very much. I thank you to Wahid's dear wife. Struggles with them, but she keeps going. I mean, she keeps going. And may Allah bless you, my sister. Thank you again for having me on the program. And,
thank you, sir.
As Gladys Knight and the Pips say, let's do it. Let's do it.
Salam, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for all that you do.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Devin. That was the international representative of the Nation of Islam, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, our brother Akbar Muhammad, with kind words. We're going to now bring on another brother that has nothing but respect and admiration for our brother Abdul Wahid. And this is our very own brother Steve Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, brother. And thank everyone that is allowing me to be on this broadcast. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's an honor to be able to say a few words about Brother Wahid. I was a secretary under Brother Wahid in the 80s. I was regional secretary here in Atlanta. And I was under him, and he gave me my first introduction. I think I met him in Savior's Day, 1984. But let me say this. I want to thank Sister Ania, his wife, for inviting me to be a part of this, because I work with her as she runs one of the largest food banks in the city of Atlanta on the west side. The work that she's doing, I work with her in that capacity in the food bank that she runs. I want to thank her for inviting me to be a part of this. And I can go back to the 1980s when I was first made a secretary and I came to Chicago. I remember Brother Wahid, Brother Akbar. They were the two people that ran that Final Call building. They were giants in that building, and they did a lot of work in that building. And I would like to say that this is a great week for Islam, because Flowers While You Live is being given to Brother Wahid, and it was given Sunday to Brother Akbar.
Come on, bro.
So two men that have stood the test of time.
Right.
And I can go back in my memory bank and I saw the people who were there at that time in 83, 82, 83, 84, and that are no longer here, but those two are still here struggling in the cause of Islam. And that's a blessing from Allah. And it's just an honor to know them both. And both of them getting honored this week is a blessing from Almighty God, Allah. So I would just like to say that. Brother Wahid, I met him in Savior's Day 84 on a person, the first time we personally had a conversation.
Yes, sir.
And I just like to share that first conversation. We were talking and I asked him, what is it that I'm supposed to do as a secretary? Because I had just gotten put on the post in 83 and that was my first Savior's Day as a secretary. And he was telling me, well, he said, it's not what you're supposed to do, it's what we are supposed to do. And we are supposed to build all of the work that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about. He said that when his first conversation with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, after he came out of that hotel room that Sunday and they were walking and they walked through the area, he said, we have to build everything that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about: hospitals, schools, factories, the things that it takes to make a nation. And his conversation to me was, we have to build a nation. And all of the conversations that we had, all of the time that we spent with each other back in those days, it was always about nation building. Not an organization, not a group, not a fraternity, but a nation. And that's what his conversation is always about. It's not about your individual business, your individual success. It's about the nation's success. He is a nation builder. He is one of the fathers of this nation on this side. And when you build a nation, that is something that goes on into perpetuity. As Allah said, this nation will never fall. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said so. He talks about nation building and the things that it takes to build a nation. That's families, that's businesses, that's the politics, that's the right spiritual reference, that's the right relationship with Allah, the right relationship with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the right relationship with your brothers and sisters. So everything that we discussed on that first time that I met him was nation building. And every conversation since then has always been about building a nation.
Right.
And we must build this nation if we want to be the people that we say we are. Individual success. And that's what I can say about he and Brother Akbar. To this day, they're still nation building. Right. A lot of other people have gone on. Some have passed. Some are doing other things, but they are still nation building. So their example, his example, is good for us on how to stay the course, because it's not a near gain or short journey. It's for the long haul. It's protracted. And that's what he has always talked about. That's what he has always shown in the example of his life by being here since the 50s and never wavering. It's nation building. So I want to thank him for giving me the idea and concept of a nation and what it takes to build a nation spiritually, politically, economically, socially, culturally, those things, to give me some idea of what it takes. And I thank him for all of the guidance that he's given me over the years, his friendship,
right,
and just being a brother to me when I needed to have that. So thank you, Brother Wahid. Thank you, Sister Anya, for all that you all both do and the things that have gone on that you all have done to make sure that I have the right perspective and the right frame of mind to keep going, and the things that you all do for so many people. He married a woman like himself who's a servant, and she serves just as hard as he has served. So, brother, I appreciate you. I appreciate Sister, And I pray that Almighty God, Allah, who came in the person of Master Father Muhammad, forever blesses and protect you both. Thank you.
Amen. Beautiful work, brother Steve.
Thank you,
Beautiful
Steve.
words, brother.
Brother Steve, beautiful words. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're gonna keep it going. First of all, before we get going, we're gonna break just for a moment for a commercial. Brother Ahmed.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Take time out of your busy schedules. We just wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors. But first, you can follow us. We're Jock Brothers. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Jock Brothers. Jock Brothers, JAKQ, Jock Brothers. You can also find us on our website at jockbrothers.com. You can help us financially at the Cash App you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, $ Jock Bros, $ Jock Bros. We also have a prison initiative where we're striving to get the baddest, boldest Black-owned newspaper, The Final Call, to our brothers and sisters who are incarcerated. If you can get any information of our brothers and sisters, your friends and family, you can send that information to jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. We also wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors, the brothers you see on the screen, myself, Brother Jackie, and Brother Carl Wee. We all have businesses, so you can help support our businesses. Brother Carl Wee is a real estate agent. He can be supported. He can help you find properties in Georgia, Atlanta, and all the surrounding states.
That's correct. You're right. You're right. That's me right there.
No, we can't hear you, Op.
Yes, you can reach him. You can send any information to Jock Brothers Viewers, Brother Carwee, for any real estate needs. You can also reach, we also like to give a shout out to myself, Brother Ahmed. I'm a youth mentor and an author. That's my first children's book. You can reach me at www.brpublishing.com, www.brpublishing.com. Our next brother is Brother Jackie. He's owner and operator of Supreme Waste Removal. He can provide dumpsters for your sanitation needs all over the city of Atlanta and some surrounding cities. You can also reach him. Send your information to jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com, jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. Thank you. Back to you, Brother Carwee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a question in our I got text, brother Wahid. A couple of people want to hear from you. Let me read that question. And it came from a brother you know very well, Brother Jahi. He said, which one of the posts, the nation's post you held, did you feel you accomplished the most in helping the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Is he froze? I think, oh, okay, there you go.
Okay. Could you read the question again? It's breaking up on our end.
Sure, not a problem. Which post did you hold during your time serving the nation? Did you feel you accomplished the most?
One more time, Brother Carwee.
Okay, which other nation's post that you held did you feel you accomplished the most while in helping to rebuild a nation? And I'm Mr. Louis Farrakhan. You not understanding?
No, Tawi, we didn't hear this. We didn't hear the question.
I just texted. I just texted to your wife.
Okay.
And yeah, there you go, right there. and brother Steve, legend has it. Legend has it that during when the minister had to travel, that what kept the nation together while the minister was concentrating on trying to raise the people was brother Abdul Wahid and brother Akbar.
Yes.
Yeah, and they had to stay back a lot of the times. Did that add? I know you worked for them. Did that add pressure to you, but they had to stay back all the time, or?
Well, I was here in Atlanta and I was just a laborer. And when I would go through Chicago, they were the underpinnings of the foundation in Chicago at that time. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan traveled constantly. He was all over. And those two, when sometime Brother Akbar would be with him, sometime maybe Brother Wahid would be with him, but they were in Chicago making the decisions that kept the nation functioning at that time. So they were the stalwarts. They were the underpin, the foundation that we were working on when we would come to Chicago as laborers from around the country. It's not like it is now. We're in the Final Call building. It wasn't the structure that you have in place now. It was working and the money wasn't always there, but Brother Wahid stretched those dollars. He made it count. Brother Akbar made decisions that made things happen. And that's how it was from my perspective, watching them as a little brother, watching two men who were running the nation, because that was the top tier. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Minister Akbar, and Brother National Secretary Wahid. That was the top three at that time. They were the ones who were making the decisions to make things go on. And I have a story for you, Brother Ahmed. In I think it was 87. I went with Brother Akbar to your home, and when he spoke with your father that first night that he came back to speak at the FOI class, I drove him over there to you all's house. And then he spoke that Monday, one of the first Monday night that he came back and spoke at FOI class. I was with him when he went to speak with your father. When he became the minister in New York, I drove him over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ahmed was a shorty at that time, right?
All right. I didn't get to know Brother Ahmed till he came here. I saw his father one day. I was selling papers on Wesley Chapel in the 90s. And he said, I live here now, man. Because he remembered me from New York. And then he said, I live here now. And he purchased the paper and gave me a $10 tip. I was standing on Wesley Chapel. So that was maybe 92, 93, something like that.
Yes.
When you all had moved down here to Atlanta.
We gotta bring you back when we do my story, brother. We're gonna bring
you back. Well, as I said, Brother Akbar just took me with. Well, I had a car, so I drove him over there. That's how I got there. I was driving.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to him.
But he was the one who talked to your father to bring him back, and he taught to teach an FOI class on a Monday night at Gates and Tompkins in Brooklyn.
Yes, sir.
That's where we were in New York.
So back to Brother Wahid. Do you have the question? Can you answer that question for us, Brother Wahid?
Which one of the nation's posts do I feel help accomplish they help Mr. Farrakhan most? Well, I don't know. I can answer that. The post that I had helped the most when I accepted when Minister Farrakhan stood back up to help rebuild the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's work, and he asked me would I help him, and I said yes, but I was in Los Angeles and he was in Chicago, so I guess took too long for me to get from Los Angeles to Chicago. So he called me one morning and said, brother, I thought you said you would come to Chicago to help me. I said, yes, sir, brother minister, I'm going to do that. But I have a few more things I got to do. Then I'll be there. He said, okay. He said, do you have a Bible? I said, yes, sir. He said, you go and read Matthew 6:33 and call me back. So I read 6:33 and called him back. Said, seek you first the kingdom of heaven and all of his righteousness and all these other things that come to you. When I called him back, I said, I'll be there tomorrow. And that was on a Tuesday. I hung up the phone and I called the brother who was the secretary at that time. I said, I need you to help me drive to Chicago and I'll pay your way back on the plane. He did. He agreed, and we left the next morning. And I've been there ever since.
Wow.
So that was the greatest thing, greatest accomplishment I had to help the Honorable Minister Parker. And when I agreed and showed up,
Yes.
that was
Praise
the
due
greatest
to
thing I
Allah.
could have done.
All praise is due to Allah.
All right. We're gonna keep on with the program. We got another brother we wanna honor you with. He got honors for you. Ahmed can give a backdrop of this brother. Anything the next brother Ahmed that you want to introduce?
This is your brother, brother Lee, come out of Charlotte. And he's doing all this work. And,
Lee.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Am I on?
This
Yes,
brother Lee
sir.
from Charlotte, North Carolina.
I am from Charlotte, North Carolina. Bismillah. Brother, I tell you, this is truly an honor for me to be able to say something for,
Yes, sir.
for Brother Wahid. Man, I tell you, I came in October the 17th, 1981. I don't remember when I met him. It's just one day I just met him. And then from that day on, it just went on. And a man, to me, like Brother Wahid, I had him in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And most of people don't even know what that is, but he was speaking on Black Street. Them one horse town, they had Main Street, and on one side of Main Street was White Street, and on the other side was Black Street, and Trade Street went across to the middle of them. Well, I had him speaking in Rock Hill, and I was so honored that this brother would come and speak down there in my hometown. Now, up on the other end, I never told you, but back a long time ago, that was the straight razor and ice pick days, but we wasn't up on that end. We was on the other end. And a person that enjoys what he's doing, it wasn't a burden for him to do it. Very few people that you see that smile and enjoy doing what they're doing. And brother Wahid was that type of brother. And I had a chance to be his roommate in the commission. And boy, that's when it went on and on. But this brother, Minister Farrakhan, has a great helper. And I didn't know that they had honored Brother Akbar. I sure would have liked to say a few words to that. But Brother Wahid, I'm telling you, man, I'm just overwhelmed. It's hard for me to talk about a man like this. So
Yes,
just keep on keeping on and having fun while you're doing it. That is something to speak about. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking, but I hope to get to see you for too long. If you're back in St. Louis, last time I talked to you was in Phoenix. But if you're back in St. Louis, I'd like to come see you one day.
Beautiful. Thank you, there, brother Lee. Appreciate it, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Lee.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have one last brother that want to say something to you, Brother Wahid, but he's just not getting the link. And so far, we're gonna give him a couple of minutes. We're just gonna give him a couple of minutes. That's it's a surprise your wife want to give to you. And so, oh yes, sir, yes, sir. Brother Steve Muhammad, Brother Steve. when it comes to now, do you remember Brother Whitehead when he was Assistant Supreme Captain?
No, sir.
Okay, yes, sir.
I met him in personally, I think that was probably would have to be about February 23rd, 1984. I met him Savior's Day 84 on a personal level. So it was that Thursday, so that would make it about the 23rd of February, 1984 is when I met him for the first time on a formal basis. And we had a conversation. And as I said, his conversation was about nation building. He said, walk with me. And I walked with him. He talked about nation building. Then on that first conversation and the last conversation I had with him, it was about nation building maybe a week or two ago. So that's all he is, the program, man. It's about the program of building the kingdom of God. That's been his conversation with me for 40 years on how we can do it, how soon we can make it happen, how we can make it happen, and what we need to do to make it happen. And so for that, I'm blessed because every time we speak, he gives me different insight into different things that I can do in my life to help to continue to build the nation. Because I have children, grandchildren, that all of them I want to be a part of this on into perpetuity. I have no other desire other than to see that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Lee, can you just give us a little background on that commission? You mentioned the commission, but that's a little history that predates some of us.
Well, I tell you, what I saw the commission was doing was always thought of the nation as a religion. But once I got into commission, I saw it as a way of life. If you come out with 9 ministries and 11 task force, what church or what, needs that? We got to go after our people now. And we got to actually stay away from religion, because I think religion divides us, and Allah would not, come up with things that divide us. So we may have to let religion go and come into, beg your pardon?
What year was that commission? They start the commission?
Well, I think it ended up and we came out in 04.
Mm-hmm.
Is when we took it to the body. Went to Chicago first, and then we went to each region. The commission went to each region, and we did deliberative dialogue session in each region to show how it went. And this is me saying this. I think that deliberative dialogue is the way to get our people, get all us together to build the kingdom of God. We have to build it. It's not going to just happen, but it's going to happen because we come together and do this thing together. And deliberative dialogue is it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%, brother. 100%.
Yes.
Okay, well, we have the gentleman that we was trying to get on. He's still not here, so what we're going to do is go into the final words. So, Brother Steve, just give your final words, sir.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to say is we're here now in the present. And in the present moment in time, we have to do all that we can do. And we have to do all that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has told us to do, from Dianetics to studying the word to what Brother Ishmael is teaching us now. And we are blessed here tonight to have Brother Wahid, who is a huge resource for us to strengthen our faith. And if we speak with him, and he speaks with everybody, it's not hard to talk to him. Some of the pioneers don't give you a lot of conversation, but he will talk with you. He will laugh with you. He'll go and have a cup of coffee with you. And those who can call him and have access to him, he has a lot of knowledge, and he's forgotten a lot of things that we don't even know. So when you talk to him and then it sparks that memory, I forgot, it's been put in the back of his memory bank because he hadn't forgotten it because he wouldn't remember, but he knows it. So brother Wahid is invaluable to the building of the Nation of Islam, because he can tell you what went on day one and everything and the progress that we have made to this day. And he has seen it, and his insight and his knowledge of the time and what must be done and the circumstances and our role and responsibility is invaluable to help build this nation. So I want to say I thank you, Brother Wahid, for allowing me to be in your life, to be in my life, for you to be in my life, that I can speak with you and talk to you and get counsel and guidance. And I appreciate all of the conversations that you give me. And I thank Allah so much for you. And I pray for you and sister constantly that you all will continue to be the couple and the people that you all are to help build this nation.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Ahmed, final words.
Yes, sir. I mean, brother Steve just said it all. We follow in the footsteps of these great men, Brother Steve, Brother Wahid, Brother Akbar, all the brothers that graced us today. And it means more than anything that to see them still working, still teaching, still training, still giving of themselves to the cause of truth. And we have to honor them as much as we can and get as much knowledge and draw as much knowledge and wisdom as we can from these brothers. So I thank you, Brother Wahid, for doing all the work that you do. We thank your family for all their sacrifices. And we pray that Allah continues to bless you and your family. Thank you, Brother Carly.
Yes, sir. So the surprise did come on, Brother Whitehead. he's in the waiting right now. With no further ado, I want to bring on our brother, Dr. J. Salam.
Assalamu alaikum. I can't hear you,
We
but
can
I just
hear you.
want to okay, thank you. If you can hear me. Assalamu alaikum, Brother
I
Wahid.
hear you. I hear you.
Yes, sir. Wow. I just want to say it's an honor to be on here to see my big brother. I've known Brother Wahid about 40 years now. And I remember when your brother Robert Muhammad, was our minister here in St. Louis. And you used to come here, and you was a staunch, disciplined soldier as you are today, and you've taught us so much. And I'm just so grateful, and I'm humbled to have you as a friend. We've done a lot together.
That's right.
I remember when you was the assistant supreme captain, secretary. My goodness, is there a post you didn't hold in the nation, brother? Because early on, you did it all, and you trained others on the positions so that they could take the position. And here we are today. And so we thank Allah for you, Brother Wahid, and my dear sister, Sister Anaya, and also brothers for putting on an honorable event like this to give honor to a brother who means so much to all of us.
That's right.
Brother Wahid, you are a gift to us, brother. You are a good example of what a believer is, but not just a believer. You have shown us what it is to bear witness to this divine teaching. You are steadfast. You've been here, and you've been a good example to us, brother. And so we are grateful to Allah. I thank you, brothers, for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I had difficulty getting on. I'm not familiar with this platform here, but I want to thank you. And I just want to say, Brother Wahid, you're amazing. And we thank Allah for you. And we're grateful that we're able to acknowledge you today, you know, and you can see us acknowledging you today.
That's right.
And just know, brother, you mean so much to us. I thank you for your encouragement. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your spirit. And I thank you more than anything for your example of what it is to be a soldier committed to the cause of Islam and a helper to our beloved minister, Louis Farrakhan. Thank you so much. And thank you, brothers, once again, for giving me an opportunity to share just a few words of a noble man who has been here for us. And may we take the baton from him so he can pass it on and we can run this race continuously and don't drop it. So we can pass it on to the group behind us that's coming, and let's train them like he trained us so that we can, our future will be secure in our nation. May Allah bless you, soldier. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you,
Real
Brother
kind
Eli.
words. Yes, sir. So yes, sir, Brother Whitehead. I think he was from I guess the city where your brother was the minister at, and you served as lieutenant or first officer. So I'm glad we had a representative for St. Louis. Brother Jackie, final words.
Final words. Yes, sir. Brother Wahid, I want to thank you, brother, for your example as an FOI, taking on a responsibility as a provider, maintainer, protector, giving us examples. It's a beautiful thing when your wife and your children give a good testimony of you. The people that know you the best, you know, and for that, brother, that touched me right there, brother. I'm very honored, you know, to see that your family bears witness to your work and your sacrifice, brother. So definitely gives the brotherhood that's coming behind you something to live up to as our FOI code, our FOI creed. So thank you, Brother Wahid, for being an example of a fruit of Islam. And you continue to be an example. Every time I would see you in the mosque, brother, you come in just like they say, with a smile on your face, ready to get it in. So thank you, Brother Wahid, for being that example. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. That's it, Brother Kawi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Whitehead, it's on the fitting that you have the last words, your final words, and then we're going to close the show there out there. So what's the final words?
Final word.
Whitehead.
I don't know how to put a period to all of what I said today. you gotta keep it going. I know the time is very important, but I wanted to say it's not a final word, but it's a starting word.
Yes, sir.
Open word, starting word.
Yes,
So
sir.
I like to say this, to thank each and every one of you for making this show happen, and may Allah continue to bless you to help others to do the same thing.
Yes, sir.
And let it be known. And I want to make a statement that I always talk to Brother Akbar about, because Akbar is the Nation of Islam historian. He started he ever since 1960. He came in before me. Since 1960, he used to travel with a book. Every time the minister spoke, he read a manual. For 30 some years, every lecture the minister Farrakhan gave, when he was there, he had it written down. Okay, so he's really a historian. And I like to say that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in 1936, when he's talking to his ministers in Detroit, Michigan, one of the main things he reminded them of the importance of history.
Yes, sir.
So I like to say that anybody want to get any information that we couldn't talk about tonight, that I think would help us go to the next stage of our development, could you please give them my phone number so they can text me the information and I can get it to them. Okay. And I want to say that everything that we said about being an example, reason why I think I been following the Nation of Islam, the Minister Farrakhan for so long, because I followed Minister Farrakhan's example.
Yes, sir.
How he followed the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm trying to follow that. He's our perfect example. And he said at his 90th birth anniversary, if we want to be successful, follow his example.
That's right.
So I wanted to say this because there's so much to be said, but there's more to be done than it is to be said.
Yes.
But if you don't mind, I just want to read you a statement that Mother Tanetta stated before she left.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And so if you don't mind, I'll read it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead, sir.
This is a statement that I'm sending out. I'm suggesting everybody hear it and read this statement. After you hear it, you get your comments on what you said, what she said, and how it affected you. He said, how can we use this statement by Mother Tanetta Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him, to introduce and advance the ideas and concept as it relates to these 5 lectures from the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. Number 1, unveiling of a great nation. Number 2, the criteria, the announcement to the world. Number 3, the swan song. And number 4, the War of Armageddon. And number 5, the 90th birth anniversary of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. This is Mother Tanetta's statement. We are standing on the threshold of another phase and cycle of our programmatic teaching from the Master.
Yes, sir.
This new phase will focus on advanced training and re-education that will take us into new fields of knowledge with higher mathematical and scientific truths to be revealed in order that we may, as students, master our assignment. Thank you very much. And that's it. To thank Mr. Farrakhan, his family, the nation, and all the believers. I really see all of you, as Mother Tanetta says, Allah created all of us for his purpose.
Yes, sir.
So you can't get around Allah's purpose. You're gonna do it willingly or unwillingly.
Yes, sir.
So don't get hung up on your purpose. Ask Allah to bless you with his purpose for you, for picking you. And as we stated, And the last final thing, in our supreme wisdom, it gives us certain instructions. And I don't think most of us didn't understand what it said, because we it said uh, qualify for positions of where they knew.
Yes,
But
sir.
they don't tell you where it is. It does, but you got to read all the rest of the lessons, because the answer to that question is in belief number 12. When Allah said he's the God, and he's going to bring about a universal government where we can all live in peace together. That's what each one of us got to be, ask ourselves, what position we can be qualified for to stand in God's government when Mr. Farrakhan come back with the teaching from that. So we got to, don't think you got it made because you all been a nation for so many years. The race is not over till you reach the finish line.
Yes, sir.
Let's pray to Allah. He blesses each and every one of us to find out our position in the finish line. So when Mr. Farrakhan returned from his trip he's making to see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we be qualified ourselves to live in that universal government in the name of Allah. And we thank you again, Brother Kawi, and all the other brothers and everybody, especially Brother Stephen, Brother Lee, and my daughters. My heart goes out to my daughters. They never talked to me like that.
Yes,
I didn't know what effect it had on them. But today she showed it, and especially my dear brother Akbar.
absolutely.
I follow Mr. Farrakhan because Mr. Akbar follows Mr. Farrakhan. And everything they do in New York, I try to duplicate that in California. So everything they do in New York, I try to duplicate that, because I know they got it from the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan. So every doing, and I really think, most of all, my beloved wife.
Come on now.
I wouldn't be here talking to you had not she had taken it in the last 3 or 4 years to take care of my health, my mentally, spiritually, physically. She's just a helper. She the Christian song said, "She's my rock, my soul, my shield. She's the lily in the middle." But I can never thank Allah for blessing me with her, and at this particular time, and thank each and every one of you for being here, and thank Mr. Farrakhan, his wife, and his family. So I don't know how you got him on your program.
We threw your name out there, sir.
I don't know how you got on the people unless my wife had something to do with it.
Absolutely.
But I wasn't expecting all that. Some of the things we talked about on the bio, we never did get into that. We didn't talk about what had been done. We talked about what's being done, what's done right now, and the benefits of doing it.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Brother Cowie, may Allah bless you, brother. Brother Jackie.
Yes, sir.
May Allah bless you. And what's the other brother's name, Brother Ahmed?
Ahmed, yes, sir.
Bless all three of you. And I don't know what to say other than all praise is due to Allah.
Yes,
for all
sir.
of us being here together. In the name of Allah.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. And man, go ahead, brother Cowie. You're muted. You're muted, Cowie.
I don't want to come behind that, brother. That, brother.
Okay. Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Well, look, Jot Nation, you heard it here first. We gave our brother Abdul Wahid Muhammad his flowers while he lived. May Allah continue to bless him, his family, his wonderful family, and bless you and your wonderful family, Jock Nation. Thank you, Brother Lee. Brother Lee, who is a worker, hard worker, who has started several study groups in the Mid-Atlantic area, who put in a lot of work. Thank you, Brother Lee. Thank you, Brother Steve. Special thanks, Brother Akbar, international minister, international representative of the Nation of Islam, and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. And we thank your two wonderful daughters and your wife.
Thank
And
you,
Dr.
thank you, thank you.
Mom as well.
And please
Yes,
give the audience my my number so they send, so we can send the so I can send other information to them that we didn't get a chance to talk about.
Anybody in the audience that need the information that we didn't get a chance to speak of from Brother Abdul Wahid Muhammad, if you would just go to Jock Brothers Viewers at gmail.com, give us your information, and we'll get that to you right away.
Thank you. It's an honor, brother.
Thank you, Brother Wahid. All right, Jock Nation, I want to thank you for a beautiful time. Thank you, Brother Kawi, for spearheading this, making it happen, brother. It's such a beautiful, wonderful event. Flowers while you live. Jock Nation, we're gonna keep it Messiah.